Hello and welcome to Minigame Monday. It's Monday, August 11th, and I am here to solve a word search puzzle made from titles submitted in January 2025, Protospiel Online. So I'll tell you too, today also is the last day of early bird prices for Protospiel Online August. So I'll go ahead and put that up on the screen for you and in the chat. Clickable link in the chat. So this is a good way to get featured in these Minigame Monday puzzles, is to come to Protospiel Online and share your prototype in all the various ways that you can do that. The one that I'm doing today, the word search, is all the games that were actually tested at the event. You don't necessarily have to put your games on the website, on the prototype listing to test your prototypes, and vice versa. You may test it without putting it on the listing. You may put it on the listing without testing it, if that's clear. And you also can share cell sheets for feedback, and I make a different kind of puzzle crisscross with those. But for today, we're going to take a look at a word search puzzle. And for these, I found that it's not very easy for me to run a stream and look for words at the same time. And so I'm going to take this opportunity to show you what the posting of the game looked like when it was run for playtesting during the convention weekend, in like what the Discord post looked like. So we'll go back and forth between looking at the clues and reading up the short snippet on how the game was presented at the event. And if you happen to find the word while I'm looking at the posting, you can put it in the chat, but otherwise I'm going to use the system's hint system to find the word after and show you where it is after I talk about the prototype. So here is a link. I'm going to put this in the chat to the puzzle, which you can play yourself or share with friends. It's a good way to get the word out about Protospiel Online to share with your friends, especially if your title is featured in it. You can say, oh, hey, look, friends, my game was featured in a puzzle. All right, so let me open up my view of the puzzle. And it tells you these are as presented in January 2025. Their titles may have changed. Their themes might have changed since then. But this is what they were at the time. So Chain Breakers, the first one. This one is from Kyle Cushman. I happen to recognize this one because it placed in Cardboard Edison in 2025. So it has a little claim to fame there. But it's about being a bike mechanic, and it's got a fun rondelle, kind of like a bicycle wheel. I haven't play tested this one myself, but I've seen a lot of screenshots of it. And it's a 3 to 5 player, or the play test is asking for 3 to 5 players. And you can see the designer can say like whether or not they're open to playing. Usually they don't want to play, but they sometimes will say, I will play if we don't have enough otherwise. And you see Kyle has a diary post. Once you are a alumni of either Protospiel or Panelspiel being a new event that's focused on knowledge sharing instead of playtesting, either one of those gives you the alumni role that allows you to make diary posts about either your game projects or just anything you're working on. So when you do have a diary post, you can put the link to it when you post for playtesters, and this allows people to check back. Like say they missed the playtest, but they had really wanted to play, they can click into your diary post and tell you so. It's basically a personal chat thread for you and your projects in our server, in our Discord server. All right, so looking for a publisher, or it was at the time in January. So let's go back to the hint and see where it starts. There we go. Let's go on to Club Spooky. This one's from Connor Wake. Convince the coolest ghouls at the club to hang out with you and make sure you keep them all happy or they might leave at the end of the game. This one is a medium weight game. It didn't, or at least Connor didn't share the prototype listing for people to check out when they were looking at whether they wanted to play test it. So it probably won't be featured in other puzzles like the jigsaw puzzle and crossword puzzle. Both take from the prototype listing. So yeah, this one is, I have not gotten to play test this. I've seen a lot of art and stuff for it. I know Connor's doing the art himself on it, which is cool. So let's see. Spooky Cozy Kitchen is from Emily Vincent. The goal being a cozy card game of making tasty and creative meals. This was an early playtest in January 2025. Looking to add more player interaction and identify with what the core of the game is. So this one was a more open to, iterating kind of playtest early in the development process, and the designer's able to say so. Let's see. Here it is. Don't Give Zach Stuff was the title of this game in January 2025. I'm coming to you from the future, so I know that this one has gotten remixed into something that has more of an actual theme, and it's being worked on as a collaboration now, but it was a let's throw something together and see if it sticks. So this one was maybe the last time it was posted was the screenshot that I took for it. So these can be posted multiple times. Once you enter it once, a lot of things about it are remembered by the system, and you can post it exactly as it had been before, or you can make changes to just certain fields to update what you're looking for, or something you decided to change about how you want to describe the game. So part of what you're doing here when you make these posts in LFG using a form from our website is testing out your hook and your pitch, because you are pitching to a small group of people who are looking for play tests. So it's kind of a low pressure audience that you can mess up with, and that's fine. And they can give you maybe feedback about what they think the hook is, based on what they were excited to hear when you were talking about it. Okay, Don't Give Zach Stuff. I believe it's called Duck Duck Choose now. It's probably a little dangerous for me to say these things from memory, but Flaking the Game was from Taryn Hammond Walker. Players are friends scheduling events with each other, trying to find the best timing to flake on each other to prevent them from getting points. Oh my goodness. I think that this is touching on a pet peeve of mine. I don't know. Maybe exposure therapy is what would be going on for me here. Brand new game, all feedback welcome. Looking for a publisher. Guilds and Gambits is from Dewey. I think Dewey Duong. Guilds and Gambits is a creature battling deck builder inspired by collectible card games and auto battlers. You and your opponent are rival guilds recruiting epic members to battle it out in a series of fast-paced rounds to earn glory. It's a two-player only head-to-head game. Dewey also has a diary post that you could find in our server to talk about this game with them. A game that's nearing completion and will be self-published if a publisher isn't found. So a later stage play. Oops, sorry, missed. There we go. Hands, I know is kind of a, is by Derwent Reedy. Play cards to your right or left hand. Who will win is determined by stacked tie breaks. Question mark? Is it a game? Question mark. I think that this is because our system, anytime it passes through our automation tool kind of chokes on question marks. So you can't put normal question marks in some places when you're posting or using our form. No plan to publish this. This is just a idea that Derwent wanted to kick around in January. Right there. Hell of a Leader is from Taryn Harmon Walker. In 4 trick-taking debates hands for the election of new Dark Lord of the Undead Horde, you can throw away the script, your cards, to derail your foes. This is a game that's existed but has brand new rules. Seeing whether it works with feedback welcome. No plan to publish exactly, well, asking for exactly 3 players. This may or may not mean that the game is only a 3-player game, but it means that very specifically the designer wants to test for 3. Wait. Huh, I missed again. Okay. There we go. Influence, posted by Bill Huffman. 2-player 18-card and 6-token game about exerting influence over the card values. Players predict whether the center card has a higher or lower value than their card or is between the values of their card and their opponents. A new game looking for all feedback. Casual audience. It looks like it's a 2-player or looking for specifically... Oh, it says 2-player 18-card. Yeah, it's a 2-player only game. Kudzu, I remember this one from the prototype listing. This one was by Sang-hee Kim. And this is an example you can see of someone asking for a time in advance so that they can kind of do something else while interest gathers for the game. And this will give them, which you can't see in this screenshot, a place to chat in a thread under the post when they ask for an advance start time. So they may or may not be pitching live voice to voice in the Looking for a Game voice channel during the convention if they post a start time in the future. Dev status middling with a heavy audience. It allows for solo play and a total of 140-minute time, a longer game. This one about the invasive plant species kudzu. I haven't gotten a chance to play test that one, but I think, is it in this puzzle? No. Parterre is from, I believe also from Sang-hee and Friends. So that one I have played, and it's also about plants, but in planters, laying them out in planters. Moon Rush, ZSA, interesting. I wonder what ZSA is standing for. It's a racing card game for 2 to 3 players. They're space traders in a race to be the first to complete their trade run and deliver their cargo to the moon. This is an early play test. Just, is it fun? What's fun about it? That sort of thing is what the designer was looking for feedback on. Okay. Wait. Oh, wow. Tricky. Even when I know the first M, there's 2 paths. Okay. Order, Chaos, and All That is from Andy Jewell. It's a puzzly abstract where you predict and influence growing territories, only almost, but not quite entirely unlike actual size may vary. I happen to know ASMV stands for actual size may vary. So, okay, so a kind of a, I don't know, a spiritual successor maybe to Andy's own game, Actual Size May Vary. New as of January 2025, and about a 1 hour experience with feedback included. There's the order, chaos, and all that. People Live Here is from Nick Schrag, another advanced playtime. It's a 2-player asymmetric cooperative game about recovering from the American suburban experiment. Community and local government must work together to build a sustainable city. In the middling stages of design, self-publishing and/or looking for publisher. Yeah, this being an asymmetric game, meaning each side has different abilities and everything, that can be difficult to balance. So that's what they're looking for, making sure both sides are interesting to play and have relatively equal chances to win. People Live Here. Quilters of Zen Valley is one I did get to play test. This was from Locktrin. It's a deck building with trading centered around quilting a cozy blanket for the Winter Festival of Quilts. Very early prototype in second playtest. It was a pretty... I'm not sure if this is the playtest I played in, but this might be... I am just remembering off the top of my head if the 19th was the second day of the convention, or I think it was not the third. I think it was the second, but this is from memory. So they might have played it again, and I think I played it on the last day. But yeah, it was a pretty players 3 to 4. I think we were able to play to the end. It was a working game with a lot of pattern building and such. And I think if I'm not mistaken, the spaces that you built kind of had something to do with your drafting, and there was definitely opportunities to kind of trade with each other. So it was a little more actually cozy in the sense of mutual aid than a lot of crafting sort of cozy games are sometimes. So this one is Zach Hoekstra's Rich F's Playing with Spare Yacht Money, an art speculation game where you have infinite money, want more money, and most importantly, to not pay taxes on said money. There's also art trading, I guess. Wanting a few players to test the core loop. It is middling and looking for a publisher. It needs 3 to 5 players. A little more than an hour-long experience. This was the one that defined the size of the grid there. Maybe unsurprisingly. Social Calculus is from Grant Van Nostrand. It's like Uno, except not linear. Score points for matching cards played in a circular board. Feedback on pacing, card design, suggestion for catch-up mechanics, history majors outside of Europe, and other miscellaneous feedback. Interesting, specifically hoping for non-Europe history majors as playtesters. I think this social calculus game, I'm thinking of what the image for it looks like, and I think it's about kind of themed around building tables for a wedding or a family reunion or something, and having people that work well together at the same table. Nope. There you go. There we go. The Cat Prince is from Zach Hoekstra. It's a Fox in the Forest inspired card game. Fox in the Forest being a 2-player trick-taking game that came out, I don't know, at least 6 or 7 years ago. Loosely based off the game of cribbage, players attempt to score sets of cards against each other as the Cat Prince climbs the tower after tower. No cribbage experience needed. Want a 2-player game in which the designer does not have to play. And this one's also looking for a publisher. And then the New Year Nightmare, I did get to play test this one with Jonathan Chaffer. 18-card escape room game, emphasis on logic, wordplay, code breaking, and observation. You work cooperatively to solve the puzzles. Jonathan was gauging difficulty and smoothing out overly difficult segments, and getting ideas for hints based on where people got confused. This one is part of a line that's under contract with the publisher. So Jonathan is coming less to get people to be aware of his games and more to get unique playtesters, since this is a puzzle, like a narrative game that if you've done it before, you can't really play it again that helpfully. You could maybe keep giving some feedback on like whether a hint makes sense to you or whatever, but not as fun of a playtest after the first one. So Jonathan also has diary post in our server where you can talk to him about these games. All right. Things on Pedestals is from Vicky Langer. Which is interesting. I think that this is just a mistake in Vicky's registration, because this light bulb means playtester, which means you can't post generally in LFG. But if Vicky was able to, they must have had access on the website, so they must not have been under a playtester badge. And this was errant. Glitch in system. Have you been helped hurt by thing? Are your feelings, experiences with thing important? Let's discuss. Write a new description and spread the news. Interesting. Looking for whether this is a thing. And using a custom website to test it, which is interesting. Or possibly, I feel like Vicky is somebody I saw mentioning recently. I might be getting confused, but just out and about on the Discord or the social media. Google Docs being a usable thing sometimes for Word-related activities. And I wonder if Google Docs needs to be a selectable option for posting, because that might be what Vicky was actually using here. Casual audience, 3 to 5 people. That's interesting. This sounds like very much like a storytelling-ish game, or a journaling game that is done as a group or something like that. It gives me that vibe. I haven't gotten to try this, but yeah, I wonder why one would need at least 3 people for something like that. So I'm probably not picking up fully what how it's intended to work. I see no H around that T. Did I get the wrong? Oh, do I have the wrong? Maybe I have the wrong one selected. Let me try that again. Yeah, okay. Boy, Even the hint, you got to be careful. Pedestals, things on pedestals. Okay, trim the tree. It's from Mark Wilson. It's a contentious worker placement 3 to 5 player. Manipulating a shared board, pattern creation, destruction. Ooh, that sounds stressful. And shared incentives via simple abilities that lead to emergent complications. I'm assuming this is like a holiday time kind of theme too, which I'm starting to collect, a few of those. There haven't been very many of those in the past, and now I have 3 off the top of my head I can think of, 2 of which were from things made from designers I know around the Protospiel online community. So it would be kind of fun to have enough Christmas or holiday, at least, of some kind themed games to play for Spielmas, which is the last 6 days of the calendar year that our friend Greg Poole has created. Okay, yeah, I must have had Trim the Tree selected before. Okay. And Underleaf is the last one. That one is from Laura Southwell. It's a tiny nature-themed set collection game for 2. Take turns buying and selling beetles, berries, and mushrooms to create the highest scoring collection of each type, with bonus points for pairs and special frog cards. This one sounds, especially if it's like a small footprint kind of game, sounds kind of perfect for like camping trips to me, nearing completion. Fun. I did not get to test that one, unfortunately, but it sounds like my kind of thing. Okay, that's the end of that puzzle. And this uses a tool called Puzzle Me, which if you visit the puzzle, you'll get a link to different ways. Yeah, I found 0 words without help. 0 complaint. 0% impressive. But I got it done in 2 minutes under the time that I am aiming to finish these streams. So that's a win for that reason. Once again, let me put up the link to Protospiel Online. Just remind you, we are about 11 days away from our next online convention for playtesting, and today is the last day for early bird prices. So go to badges and get your either playtester or designer badge. Either way, it's you'll save money if you buy today for either of those types of badges. And even if you are a designer who would ideally like to bring a game to the event, but you don't have one ready for digital playtesting yet, coming as a playtester, especially for your first visit, is a great idea, because it helps you see what's possible and get a feel for what it's like to play in the tools, so that you can have empathy for your players as you're setting up your digital implementation, especially if you haven't played in, say, ScreenTop or playingcards.io before, which are both browser-based, very accessible to playtesters, so very favored at our event, because you never have to deal with the sad rejection of someone saying, I really want to play your game, but I have a Chromebook and that's all. And so I can't play something that I have to install, which can happen with something like Tabletop Playground, which has more of a 3D presentation than ScreenTop or Playing Cards, those being 2D, but completely browser-based, no account needed. So I'm very looking forward to playing everybody's games and having a new batch of titles to make Minigame Monday puzzles out of. This one that I did today was the 4th word search for January, and I'm coming up on needing to get started with the May puzzles, and I actually am building those right now. So I'm in the process of making the plan for that content and everything. I may do a marathon stream to show how I make them, or just kind of hold myself accountable to working only on them for a straight few hours and not looking away to customer service and such like that. But I think it's not a good idea for me to do that on a day when we are doing our early bird sale close, so I'll probably wait until the rush of website traffic and sales is done, and then I will possibly later this week. I'm not going to schedule it in advance, but I may, no promises, do a marathon stream of making the puzzles. So I may see you then, or if not, next Minigame Monday is next Monday, the August 18th. So have a good week.